Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching from in your time zone. This is your Barefoot Country garden cook, back in the kitchen again, but I'm not in the kitchen today. I'm in the garden because it's that time of year. Last year, we had a fungus come and wipe out 3/4 of my rosemary. That's all I have left is those few bushes right there. And you're probably wondering why there's lantana put right here. Well, I put up this privacy barrier to keep the deer out since I don't have as many rosemaries. And over here, there's been a lot of changes in the garden since you guys last saw. There is one blueberry bush in a raised bed, and there is the second one. You always want to get them in pairs so they can cross-pollinate. And then we'll go around a little hothouse here. And there's my lovely elephant. I have lots of those. I actually collect those things. And then there's another lantana that I'm going to put on their deck. And here's the garden. I've alternated tomatoes and peppers this year. Whenever you plant your garden, try to make a mental note or write down where you planted your tomatoes, where you planted your peppers, because the next year what you want to do is switch them around because each plant uses different nutrients in the soil. This down here is actually stevia, which is a natural sweetener. It's great in your tea. There's a little baby tomato plant down there. I use the cages up until they get to the first rung, and then I will take them off. Except this one over here, I put a tomato cage behind it so that as it grows, it will lean on there, because these tomato plants, when they get heavy, they will tend to lean over. And then we got pepper plants. Over here, I have cucumbers, and you're probably wondering why I'm using a tomato cage around the cucumbers. Well, believe it or not, if you train up your cucumbers onto a trellis or onto a tomato cage like this, you will be able to see the cucumbers as they come out more readily, and you'll get more cucumbers because it is a vine and it likes to climb. So give it something to climb on. And then going down further in the garden, there's a tomato plant. Got pepper plants. I've got poblanos and serranos. And then here is the long neck yellow squash. And then there's another serrano. Those are cherry tomatoes in back. And then I have a pepper plant over there in the corner. And then one here. Now I scattered them out this year. And then I'm going to put beans in here in between everything. Because beans will grow anywhere. They can get direct sunlight or indirect sunlight. They don't care. They just grow. They're one of the easiest vegetables I've ever known to grow. Now, the one thing about if you like yellow squash or zucchini, I noticed that they don't tell you how to grow them the right way. So I'm going to tell you the right way. The right way is, it'll say on the tag, and these even say on the tag, a deep pot. Well, how deep is deep? The rule of thumb for most country folks is, plant your squash, your potatoes, and your cucumbers on a mound of dirt, preferably 3 feet across by about 1 foot to 1.5 feet high. But since I'm limited on space, I do less plants and just make the mound a little bit higher and not as wide. So with all of these plants, you want to make sure you put water in the hole before you put the plant in, and then water it afterwards. Especially with the mounds, I watered all around the top so that won't wash away while these are taking hold. So that's the update on the garden. If you have any questions, I hope you like these little tips on gardening. A lot of people will put their tomatoes in these cages all the time. And when I do that, I don't get as many tomatoes. So I just let them go crazy. And that one is doing very, very well. And the blueberry bushes already have blueberries on them. And I just got those. So the reason why I have the lantanas planted outside of the garden is it brings bees. You want a good garden? Plant flowers around your garden, and you will have a healthy garden because the bees will bring the pollen and will pollinate the tomatoes while they're growing, the blossoms on those, the blossoms on your cucumbers especially. One year we didn't have hardly any bees, and I got 2 cucumbers for the whole season. And I don't know what happened to the bees, but I know they're not nice to get stung by, but please don't kill the bees. Otherwise we won't have any food to eat. Well, I hope this has been informative and helpful, and stay tuned because we'll be planting beans next.